Hey guys, it's RobJ here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a new product from HappyAnt. We haven't seen them on the channel for quite some time, but they are back with a whole new version of their nesting set, and we're going to be taking a look at the Hexanest, and this in particular is the Hexanest starter set. This includes one module for nesting, and then a module for an outworld or an arena. It comes with all the bits and bobs, the connection clips, and a few other bits to help you get started, but we're going to work our way through it and see how I find it. So first of all, we're going to look at the arena or the outworld. So the outworld's lid has a sort of smoked acrylic top with the air holes inside. This can be removed, but if you don't want to take the whole lid off, you've got to make sure you hold the other one down, as the magnets are stronger than the weight. So you'll pull the whole lid off. Here is the rim that you can put your PTFE on, hence the problem: if you just grab it with one hand, you'll lift the whole lot off and you'll have no PTFE rim. So you've got to hold the first layer on to pull just the smoked acrylic lid off for feeding. Just keep that in mind. Now, they use this plug system. There's a plug on all sides, and they have some sort of moulded plastic system in the construction. Could be injection, I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely a mould. It's not printed. This is a solid single object. They've moved away from glass on the arena to a much more nicer acrylic surround. But like I said, if you want to just take that top layer off, you've got to hold it down, as the magnets are quite strong and they'll lift the lid straight off. But the outworld itself, with it being fully removable, the lid, that is, easy cleaning in the outworld is possible, and rather easy. Let's take a look at the module for the nest now. So we have an all new, more unified design on the cork insert, as well as a solid cork bottom at all times. It's not 50-50 in with the plastic bottom. It's using the same moulded base plate to get it going, and they've moved away from it being a solid stick-on lid to including the red acrylic that is actually magnetized on. Now, it's strong enough to lift it on its own, but as soon as it's connected to anything, this is a one-hand lift off. So the cork being 100% of the bottom now does help water and moisture hold inside. There's no breaks in the system or anything like that. Now, in the previous generation, we got a syringe, and you would inject it through here, and it worked quite well, unless you were young and you'd have to have supervision or it just wasn't suitable. But now they've removed that after some criticism. So you get a pipette, and I asked, how do we use this? There's no way of injecting it, there's no hole. So you've actually got to remove the plug every time. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I don't want to over exaggerate, but these plugs are no easy feat to get off. And imagine the vibrations that I've caused trying to do this. And if this nest has like a few workers and a queen in one of the chambers, maybe this wouldn't be a problem if you could keep the vibrations down, but you can't. But if this nest is semi-full, pulling one of these plugs out is just going to have a mass of ants, or you're going to get an ant stuck in it when you try and reinsert the plug. So taking the syringe away, but not redesigning a syringeless option, means that this still relies on a syringe, which is possible and purchasable as an extra. So they've just not included it in the starter kit, but it is still very much a fundamental part of the design. You need a hypodermic needle to push through the plastic cap to water them properly. And in testing, that is a perfect solution for a more experienced ant keeper. But this younger, safer version is just impractical. I would like to see a little module where you pull the cap out and a little module, sponge enclosed module with a proper hole for a pipette pushes into one of the ports. Yes, it might stop the hexa design going in that one direction, but it could be universal around it. This is the previous generation with the needle insert. Still for sale on the website, as it's very much needed. With that said, if you did get a syringe, the whole system works very well. It does actually work very well. Actually becomes rather easy. So I would highly recommend, if you like this nest as much as I do, I really find this quite an attractive looking nest, appealing. I would definitely say a syringe is an absolute must, but if you can't get your head around the syringe, maybe look elsewhere. Now we've moved away from a magnetic connection system to a solid clipping system with the option to permanently stick it to something, say if you have a board cut out just for your set. But I move my nests for cleaning a lot, so I'm not going to use the adhesive. Now, as I demonstrated before, I can't get these out without nearly ripping my nails off. So, out come my pliers, and I'll just pop them off. So to connect them up, basically you just remove the two matching lids, and once you've got two open holes, all you got to do is put a clip either side in the grooves and push down firmly until you hear quite a significant lock sound. Now, why this is better than the magnetic system is when you try to move them on the magnetic system, they could suddenly break away. These are a really solid fit, and as I'm about to show you, you can lift it one-handed. It doesn't come apart. Now, a magnet system would have fell off now. The magnet system was only good when it was laying down, but look at this. That's absolutely fine. Check this out. Look, just lifted the whole way to the system. The clips are perfectly fine. Now, I'm not saying you're going to move your nests around like this, but it's certainly good to know that you're not going to lose your ants everywhere. You're going to fling your nest over your outworld. And the outworld is more manageable now. It's not a huge, massive outworld. You can have a few of these outworlds are dotted around a larger Hexanest setup. So in the majority of the improvements and changes, I absolutely love it. With a syringe, it makes total sense, but you have to be okay with a syringe. I was perfectly fine and happy to use it previous generation, and I'll be happy to use it now. But just know, if you get a starter kit, you need a syringe, so make sure you grab that as an extra. I spoke to the owner about this, and suggested that this needs redesigning as a feedback from myself. But with a syringe, the system is actually really good, and the upgrade really does work. I like the improved cork, I like the new colours, the new base, I like the new size outworld, I like moving away from glass, shipping purposes mainly. I like the new outworld size, because you can double these up and put 3 or 4 outworlds next to each other. You can size it up quite nicely. I've always liked the hexagon shape system. The new locking system is much better, because I can lift this up and move it from a shelf to the floor to dust and clean. As you can see, I'm not going to lose it. Now, I used to have to pick the other one up like I was picking a pizza out of a box. You've got to support every slice, otherwise you're going to lose one to keep it whole. But as I'm demonstrating here, this is probably way more pressure on the joints that you're actually going to use, but it can be lifted and moved. So, it is actually a vast improvement over the previous generation. But I would like to see some accessories. A sponge attachment accessory, and maybe a few others. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look review, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Post your comments below. I do always like reading them, even if I don't get a chance to reply to them all. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one.